I think it was around round 6 or round 8. I was lucky enough to make my NRL debut.
Okay, all right, boys, time the run.
You know, Benji Marshall and Robbie Farahs and the Woodses and all these guys that I looked up to my whole life, and somehow my second NRL game I scored a try, so I thought, geez, life can't get too much better. And then my 4th game in the NRL, I ran out and I was living the absolute dream, I suppose.
There's a West Tigers player down there.
I think it's Spence.
Young bloke who just come on. I think you're right, Sean Spence. Back play, Ben.
Just like.
Oh no, he's concussed.
Jeez, he winds up Fecky. It's tough to tackle.
Tried to stagger back to the line, but just fell over completely face first, about 5 metres off to the side. And I still remember physio, and I'm good mates with him now. And I argued with him the whole way off. I said, mate, don't do this to me. You know, like everything we've been through. You know, he was the one that got me back from my knees, and I said, don't do this to me, man. He just said, I'm doing this because I love you. Coming through the lower grades, I had a few sort of head knocks and was able to shake them off and didn't really think too much of it really. And to have a serious injury, you know, you think a head knock's not serious. You're more concerned about how your ankle feels or how your knee feels, and it was not even a thought of missing a week or even missing the rest of the game. You know, it was shake it off and keep going. 2013 is when things really probably got serious. The trainer come out and I convinced him and you know, used my street smarts, I suppose, to convince him that I was just gassed. You know, I'd probably played more minutes than they expected out of me. So I just, you know, convinced him that I was just tired. And I think my football career, my life sort of changed in that conversation. They put me back out there and I took a kick-off. And I hated kick-offs at the worst of times, but I took a kick-off, being a front rower, and got that hit up, and I don't really recall anything from the rest of that day. My girlfriend at the time, and she'd been with me now for 2 years, approaching me after the game, and I introduced myself to her. I had no idea who she was, and through the force of the concussion, I lost 70% of my eardrum. I have zero regret for the time I had in the game, except for the decisions that I made around concussion. I said, Doc, scan my head. And it was, you know, nothing's going to come back on the scan. You know, it's a cognitive injury. You know, it's not you're not going to see a big dent in your brain, or you're not going to see a torn ligament or a broken bone. And, you know, I understand this, I don't begrudge anyone, but no one wanted to tell me straight that I shouldn't play. But through the relationship I was able to build up with the doctors, at both of them, I called them, and after they sort of said it hasn't improved enough, I said, just tell me straight, Doc. And both of them said to me that if I was to get another head knock, that damage would become permanent, and it was their advice that I never play the game again. What concussion is controlling the controllables, and that's you being honest. After a concussion, you know, during the week, just be honest with your symptoms. As I said, a week is a long time in football, and to miss a week is, you know, it feels like the worst thing in the world at the time, but I can guarantee you, if you ever told you can't play football again before your time, that's going to be a lot worse feeling. It was a whole life, you know, all the sacrifices you made, or everything you'd done in life. It was almost like, for what for? I shut myself out from a lot of people, and my concern around that was just that I didn't know how to explain it. I think as footballers we define ourselves as footballers sometimes, and you know, a lot of conversations start that way with, this is Sean, he plays footy. I just ended up putting a limp on at times because I still hadn't come to grips that I was never going to play the game again because of concussion. It was the hardest, one of the hardest times of my life, obviously, and I still look back on it with, and even now, I would do anything to change a couple of decisions I made along the way in terms of concussion and things that could have changed the result of where I am now, and I'll never get that chance, and that's, you know, if I can give someone else that chance, then that's why I'm telling my story. If I could go back to my younger self, and it's that really key moment of that first game of 2013, and the way I look at it now, I had an option that day, obviously hindsight, but the option was miss 40 minutes of football in that game, or miss 40 years of football, really.